hour's drive northeast of Ekongo in Ohangwena region, and you come to a cut line in the thick forest. A concrete stone in the middle of the road has the word Angola printed on it. This stone tells you you're now entering Angola. This is the official international border between Namibia and Angola. With no fence and an open frontier, people and cattle move freely between our two countries. A few kilometers further eastwards along the border, and you come to a small cattle post with a crush pen. It is here that the first case of foot and mouth disease, or FMD, was detected in north-central Namibia since 1967, 48 years ago. Animal health technician Simon Nalushia was there when it happened.
We are at Ondamayo Mhete, a place about 1 hour drive from Okongo. It's 50 kilometers from Wangwena Kavango border, and it's just some few meters from along the Namibia-Angola border. Ondamayo Mhete is very important because it's where the first case of FMD was diagnosed on the 11th day of May this year. What happened is that after this case, index case at Ondamayo Mhete, from there the disease spread further, west, east, just spreading like wildfire.
And my first thought was what a major operation will have to be undertaken by the Directorate of Veterinary Service, and the entire country have to focus now on the control and containing of the outbreak in the northern communal area. So we rushed to the site, we identified the animal, we saw the clinical signs, we took samples, we submitted the sample to the Central Veterinary Laboratory in Windhoek, and the results were confirmed within 24 hours.
If I'm very honest, I can say that that day really, it was one of the scariest things that come to mind. You don't want that to become reality. And when I heard that, I realized that we are in for a long fight, and maybe for the fight of our lives in terms of livelihood of people in the North Central.
We just found an animal that is that qualified to be a suspect. It's salivating. We just want to inspect it and see whether, whether it's a case or not.
Foot and mouth disease is a highly contagious animal disease that can spread extremely quickly from animal to animal, from herd to herd, and even from one country to another country. It is important to know what FMD looks like in your animal.
So when we come to the heads, that's when we do our inspection and then look for those signs. So normally the foot and mouth disease lesions or symptoms, you first see a salivating animal because of the wounds that are in the mouth, and then the animal will limp because of the wounds that are between the hooves. Animals will stop eating because they can't eat because of the pain in the mouth, and then they walk with difficulty because of the wounds in the hoof. So that's how the disease presents itself.
Please report any suspected case of foot and mouth disease to your nearest DVS office.
For now, we cannot suspect foot and mouth now, but the animal is salivating. So what we do is we keep this animal or this head under observation. So like 3 or a week from now, we'll come back again, because this animal might actually be just starting. There are no typical signs yet, but it might just be starting.
Although foot and mouth disease affects cattle most severely, it can be carried and transmitted by any cloven-hoofed animal, including buffalo, cattle, pigs, and all other two-toed animals. It is important for you to know that FMD does not make people sick, but people can be carriers of the virus. The foot-and-mouth disease is transmitted by direct contact, such as when a healthy animal touches, rubs, or licks an animal that is sick. It can also be spread when healthy animals eat or drink from an infected feed trough or water trough, where an infected animal has eaten or drooled saliva. The virus can also travel through the air when an animal coughs or sneezes. Although humans do not get sick from foot-and-mouth disease, they can carry it on clothes and shoes or on the wheels of vehicles, and people can transmit FMD accidentally by transporting infected materials such as meat, grass, thatch, or animal skins from infected areas to new areas. If this was the first case of FMD to be recorded in north-central Namibia in nearly 50 years, where did it come from and why did it happen now?
There's no doubt that this came from Angola. There are reports from Angola of disease. There have been discussions with veterinary services on both sides, and there are farmers describing how they've seen foot-and-mouth disease and how their cattle coming back from Angola were infected. So something has changed in the northern areas and in Angola. As we're aware, something has brought cattle and buffalo together and allowed the transfer of virus.
Foot-and-mouth disease comes from buffalo, which live in the Zambezi region in Namibia and in neighboring countries. The buffalo populations are increasing and spreading to other areas, including southern Angola. When the buffalo mix with cattle from Namibia, they transmit the disease into our cattle herds. We think this is where the 2015 foot-and-mouth disease outbreak came from. Namibia has been divided into different animal disease zones to prevent and contain the spread of foot-and-mouth disease. Northeastern Namibia is the infected zone, where foot-and-mouth disease occurs every few years, but has always been contained. North-central Namibia is called the protection zone. There has been no outbreak of FMD here for the last 50 years. And southern Namibia, which is free of FMD. Meat from this free zone can be exported anywhere in the world. We now have to eradicate the disease from the protection zone before we can once again sell meat from here. The cabinet decision to immediately declare this foot-and-mouth disease outbreak an emergency is simply because livestock farming in Namibia is so very important. If Namibia has FMD, we cannot trade with other countries.
Foot-and-mouth disease is a trade-sensitive disease. If you want to trade with anyone, specifically in animal and animal products, the very first question which that trading partner have to confirm is to look at your status as far as foot-and-mouth disease is concerned.
People in the industrialized nations who have a very good controlled situation with foot-and-mouth disease are frightened of it. And they're quite rightly frightened because they have large dairy industries and beef industries built on producing animals in the maximum growth rates and that sort of thing. Foot-and-mouth disease damages both of those. It is impossible to practice as a dairy farmer or even produce good beef in the presence of uncontrolled foot-and-mouth disease. So but the quicker we can return to a situation of disease freedom in the whole of Namibia and develop the existing situation of disease freedom, then the more Namibia will be able to compete in international markets.
3/4 of all Namibians live in the northern communal areas, where livestock farming is the backbone of the local economy.
60% of our people are living in rural areas on farms, surviving from these animals. So FMD is really there, it's in that fabric of you know, your life, your livelihood and the quality of your life is better without FMD than it is with FMD. And the world rewards you for not having FMD. They trade with you, they open up markets, you know, you can negotiate better prices for your commodities because you don't have this disease.
To be quite frank with you, as I'm sitting here now, the impact actually I can already feel it. As I said, there's no income now. So I have workers at the farm, and I have to look after the cattle at the farm, and I still have to maintain the farm.
Se o onkiso o vene ue kondonelaka o tukwatanai. To tukwatane mosipala kwa changu imune tuitae ndeba kuya kama ulifilo ya okulandifa itai tudurvale okulandifa imuna ngasipefo ya hawe na itumbwa engobo tadi tumbwa tadi sonjala.
They make their livelihood of farming, and now effectively they cannot sell. They cannot make money to send their children to school, to put food on the table. This is the worst thing that could happen in a drought year as well.
Yaihamisa na bishineni. Bisa ya wauli okuwauli. Mombure la nitsengo beso hono ton 5 tag. Tuyo hono ton 6 tag mombure. Okucha nai.
Now I'm sitting with these kettles. I cannot sell, but I have to dig out of my pocket to buy fodder for the cattle and medicine for the cattle, but I'm not receiving something back from what I'm investing in.
It is not just farmers that are suffering. Businessmen and women selling meat products originating from the northern communal areas are also losing money.
Dinaranga Petros Andreas, mkali mwa rundu, business yange okulandi fonyama. Ashike peife duty tuju shashi. Business yange taenda ali no morwa shi paturwa enji tikirado taturwa pocket pangiro shano kifi. Owe kanyano kakone kondo o wetu kwatu nene na isha shipeifi atu druali okuya ke niroko oku hatu droku mona imune twiro kwatu droku kalanda ngeno opo tu kamone kwengope.
It's the total of 400 skin now. It's a which of money what I'm losing here. Now I cannot sell all the skin because of this disease. Until when?
The business, Agra as a whole, which is here at Oshivelo, are also affected because the customer doesn't have money to come buy anything for their cattle.
Since the 15th of May, when we had the news of the outbreak in Oangwena region, we were ordered by DVS to stop all operations at the export abattoir in Oshakati. No marketing, no selling of meat, nothing going on.
In order to minimize the negative impacts on farmers and business people, the Directorate of Veterinary Services had to stop the disease from spreading as quickly as possible.
We have to contain it, and it's small, when it's still only in that area. And we have to give a massive response to even when it's small, so that, you know, it's a small lion that you are fighting instead of a full-grown lion. And it's better to kill it while it's small.
The Directorate of Veterinary Services set up an emergency command center at Inana in the heart of the infected area and brought in a team of experts to deal with the crisis as quickly as possible.
When the outbreak occurred, in our bid to control it, one of the main important things that we're supposed to do is to impose movement controls so that animals don't move from place to place. As you know, that the disease is spread by movement of animals as well as products. So my role basically is to coordinate the control of movement of animals, animal products, and so on. So as a result, we have set up a number of roadblocks, as you can see on the map. All those, they indicate the strategic points that we've placed the roadblocks so that we can control the movement of animals, animal products, so in the same vein, control the spread of the disease as well.
As well as containing the disease, the Directorate of Veterinary Services mounted a massive vaccination program to immunize all 1.2 million cattle in the northern communal areas.
FMD is a disease caused by a virus, and we are all aware that viruses are not treatable. The best way to deal with virus is through vaccination, and that's why we have mobilized the necessary vaccine to vaccinate all animals in the northern communal area of Namibia to prevent this animal to get FMD or foot and mouth disease. It's always said that prevention is better than cure, and that's why we are vaccinating over 1.2 million of cattle in the northern Namibia. So far, we are very happy with the response to the farmers. You can see around that they have responded well to our request, so that all animals in the northern communal areas are vaccinated. This is one of the best way strategy to prevent the spread of the FMD in the northern communal area of Namibia.
Alongside the strict movement controls, roadblocks and vaccinations, there was also an immediate need to fix all veterinary fences. Commercial farmer Leon Berger is checking the 1,250-kilometer veterinary cordon fence, or VCF, that separates the free zone from the protection zone.
I was contacted by the Meat Board of Namibia just after the outbreak of the first case of foot and mouth to inspect this VCF fences for them. We get some teams of farmers from the different farmers unions to help with the repair of fences. It's a big effort from our farmers, so to make sure that animals from the north cannot come in contact with the animals south of the VCF.
The key objective being to stop the foot and mouth disease from jumping the veterinary cordon fence and spreading into the free zone. It is estimated that this emergency response to the foot and mouth disease outbreak has cost the government of Namibia and her business partners about 250 million Namibian dollars. But it has protected Namibia's even bigger 2.5 billion Namibian dollar livestock industry in the free zone. It was crucial to contain this disease as quickly as possible, because every time there is a new outbreak, there is a further 6-month ban on all livestock trading. If we do not eradicate this disease immediately, we are producing cattle that we cannot sell. All evidence suggests that the Directorate of Veterinary Services' fast response has successfully contained the 2015 outbreak of foot and mouth disease in northern Namibia.
We have responded very well, I can say, because at the beginning we had 10 teams in the first week. By the second week, we had 48 teams on the ground vaccinating animals. We had set up no less than 30 roadblocks at strategic points right across the northern communal areas. We also managed to mobilize sufficient quantities of vaccine and camping equipment, materials to be used in the field. All that was done at record time. The ministry also managed to mobilize funds to fund this operation. And this was done in record time. And I can say we as Namibia, as Team Namibia, have done a good job. And we will continue to work hard. And our farmers have also been behind us, giving us the necessary support, bringing their animals for vaccination, bringing their animals for examination when there are suspect cases, reporting outbreaks, and so on. So it's been tremendous.
Since we last spoke, we've travelled extensively through the northern areas and including around Etosha, trying to look at all the issues to do with protection of the southern disease-free zone and how to cope with the outbreak that's going on in the north. And I was very happy to find out that in fact they're just as efficient and very much on top of things as were the people in Zambezi. And in fact there's some reason to be optimistic that the outbreak is just about over in the north.
I am able to report to the Namibian people that the outbreak has at least been contained to the extent that it did not go to other regions, but the latest report that I was given is that the DVS people, the veterinarians, they have succeeded in containing any further spread, under difficult circumstances, of course.
Since the beginning of this FMD outbreak, no animals have died. There have been no reports of FMD in the free zone, and there have been no new infections recorded in northern Namibia during the last few months. If this disease-free situation can continue, this foot-and-mouth disease outbreak could be over within as little as 6 months.
Look at now, we have the situation under control. Just 2 months and 2 days later, at a record time, if we can continue cooperating together like that, we will eradicate this disease.
It is important to remain vigilant because an FMD outbreak could flare up again, meaning it will be many more years before we can start trading in livestock again from northern Namibia.
I think in these times we need to think of the industry. Each and every farmer, commercial, communal, you need to think long term, and you don't need to think only about your own situation, because there are many people in the same situation that what we are in now. And if one of us do the wrong thing, then the impact of your actions can have this disease going on for 6 and 8 and 10 months longer. So all of us need to club in, and all of us need to think the same, and all of us need to have that mindset of say, okay, now we are in the same situation, in the same boat, we need to fight this disease together.
So that's where we are, and therefore it remains for me as the line minister responsible for livestock in the Republic of Namibia, finally to thank our counterparts in Angola for the working together in dealing with the issue that is now at hand. Number 2 is to thank the staff of the Directorate of Veterinary Services. It is their duty, but the way in which they have been executing this duty is very, very, very commendable. But very, 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 very importantly, the farmers, and when they are called upon to cooperate with the veterinary staff in bringing their animals for vaccination, the cooperation has been excellent. The OIE, they have been sending their people also here. Other local partners in the meat industry, Meatco, Meat Board, and the farmers' unions, NNFU, NAU, we have been working closely together because it is a national emergency. So that cooperation, including the European Union, has been a great contributor to our efforts in implementation of this policy. So that's where we are.